All right, welcome on board. And so tonight's guest on Hase is HSC Magdalene Chepkemoi, the CEO of Eldo Hub, an entity that she began during the COVID-19 times. Of course, the mission was to create employment through technology to the youth. It began in Eldoret, but it has expanded to numerous marginalized spaces in the country. And so tonight she shares the story of what was the gap that she noticed, but of importance, what then it has done in terms of transforming the lives of very many youth, and of course in Eldoret and beyond. So we'll be getting to that very important conversation even as we continue talking about technology and just how immense it is coming to turn the world of activities. My name is Linda Alela. It's always good to have you. And of course, we're looking forward to that conversation, but it is important that we take a look at what is in the world of news. And as before we get to that, of course, to appreciate Makori Kelvin, who is on the sign language interpreter's side. Of course, we'll be doing this with him, but of importance, the highlights. On TV47 Weekend Edition, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua speaks for the first time and calls on legislators to urgently pass important bills as they did during his removal process.
Ile speed walitumia kunitoa, watumie hiyo speed kupitisha hiyo bila kahawa.
One day after Deputy President Kithure Kindiki was sworn in, political analysts provide insights regarding the fate of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And today marks exactly 1 month since the implementation of the new Social Health Authority. Just what is the true picture of the new scheme? And once again, my name is Linda Alela, and TV47 Weekend Edition begins right away. By extension, Hase. We go straight to it. The hashtag, as always, is Hase. We'll be looking forward to, go through your comments as we continue with the broadcast. Now, a political divorce looms in the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition after the Democratic Alliance Party of Kenya, DAPK, led by Eugene Wamalwa, today announced its departure from the coalition. And DAP Kenya party leader Eugene Wamalwa alleges that betrayal by other affiliate parties, accusing them of dining with the President William Ruto's government. And this comes as the ODM party affirms its position as the official critic of President Ruto's regime, dismissing allegations of collaborating with the government, as Arnold Adidi details.
So hiyo notice inapeanwa leo. Kuanzia leo hatuko Azimio.
Members of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition seem to be departing one after the other. After Martha Karua's NAK Kenya and Peter Munya's PNU issued notices of exit in July this year, today Eugene Wamalwa's DAP Kenya has followed suit, announcing its exit from the now shrinking coalition. According to DAP Kenya party leader Eugene Wamalwa, the decision has been adopted unanimously by the party officials, citing continued betrayal by other affiliate parties in the Azimio coalition.
We will not be party to the praise and worship choir that has been created, who have joined Zakayo and who are being used by Zakayo to bring back the taxes of the 2024 finance bill, who are cheering as the finance bill 2023 is being brought back.
The DAP Kenya party has further criticized what it terms as the government's move to reintroduce punitive taxation measures, accusing a section of the Azimio coalition for backing up the plans.
And here we are still cheering William Ruto. So we are saying as DAP, we cannot and we no longer find it tenable to continue being in a relationship with people who are no longer like-minded with us.
This comes while the ODM party continues to affirm its position as the official critic of Ruto's regime. Speaking at a burial ceremony in Shinyalu constituency in Kakamega County, ODM leaders led by Godfrey Osotsi and James Orengo have dismissed allegations that the party is behind some of the Kenya Kwanza administration's policies.
Sisi kama chama cha ODM tuna msimamo, tuna mwelekeo, tumejua mahali tunatoka na mahali tunaenda.
Wengine wanasema tuko ndani ya serikali. Si tulipeleka tu huko wachezaji wa kulipwa. Baada ya loan, Musonya anajua mambo ya mpira. Arsenal inaweza tuma mchezaji aende achezee timu nyingine, baada ya mwaka moja anarudishwa tena nyumbani.
The ODM leaders say that the party is steady in playing its oversight role, adding that they will not allow any moves aimed at altering the constitution.
Hii katiba ilipitishwa na wananchi, si bunge. It is the people of Kenya who enacted the Constitution of Kenya.
While ODM insists on juggling opposition and administrative roles, affiliate parties in the Azimio coalition are seemingly not ready to dance to the same tune, further triggering a mass exit.
Azimio tawe.
Arnold Adidi, TV47.
Now we look forward.
More on politics, and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has said that he has no matter with President William Ruto following the swearing-in of Professor Kithure Kindiki as his successor yesterday. And speaking in Kirinyaga County, Gachagua, however, urged President Ruto to fulfill the promises he made to the president or to the people of the mountain region, and while also urging MPs to be accountable in passing the coffee bill as they were diligent in removing him from office. This is Apollo Kamau details.
A day after his successor, Professor Kithure Kindiki, was sworn into office, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, while in Kirinyaga County for a burial ceremony, told the Mount Kenya region to remain calm and wait for his political direction, saying he is consulting widely ahead of the 2027 polls.
Professionals and business, Gachagua, nyumba ito yate gwatea kaitwa ingatwo thirikari na ithuĩ twarehire rĩu no rĩtũrũgamagĩrĩra thĩinĩ wa thirikari tondũ we nĩ ũratũrũgamagĩrĩra tondũ thurĩtwo nĩ mũingĩ ũcio ũngĩ nĩ wa gũthukio mũtikamake nĩ tũraranĩria na kahinda gakinya nĩ ngũmũhe njĩra ũrĩa tũgũikara.
The former DP, who was flanked by his allies, saying he has no problem with President Ruto, but reminded the president on his 2022 election promises to the region.
Hata rais hatuna shida na yeye, sisi unajua tunataka tumpatie nafasi. Hiyo miaka 3 zile ahadi alipeana afanye nini? Atimize, si ndio? Ndio arudi kwetu tena, si ndio? So kila mtu apewe nafasi yake afanye kazi yake. Kwa sababu sisi tulitoa ahadi mingi sana.
Gachagua, who is challenging his impeachment before the court, challenging MPs to pass the Coffee Bill 2023 with the same passion and speed they used to remove him from office.
Ile speed walitumia kunitoa, watumie hiyo speed kupitisha hiyo bila ya kahawa. Ipitishwe na usiku yeko kwa Kenya gazeti, na asubuhi rais apelekewe aweke nini? Si ya kunitoa ilikuwa haraka sana. Hii ya kahawa imekaa mwaka moja. Sasa tunataka kuwauliza wabunge wetu, hasa wale wametoka hapa kwa Mlima Kenya, pahali kwa kahawa.
With Gachagua out of Kenya Kwanza, his allies are drumming up support for a coalition with opposition leaders Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, and others to face Ruto in 2027.
Martha Karua, rafiki yangu sana na mama ambaye mimi naheshimu sana kama kiongozi, manake ni kiongozi ambaye akichukua msimamo anafika hatima nayo. Mimi naomba watafute hao viongozi, kina Kalonzo Musyoka, kina Natembea, kina Matiang'i, mahali ambapo walienda, na watu wengi tukue na marafiki. Manake hata sisi lazima tujipange. Kana hata ndo ito.
Mount Kenya governors led by Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njoki and Nyeri's Mutahi Kahiga have challenged President Ruto to reserve a cabinet seat for Nyeri County while calling for the unity of the west and eastern parts of the mountain.
And because Kenya is watching, and it's watching the people of the east and the west, this mountain has never divided us. It is just a feature where I've told you, tunaonananga siku na mchana. Let us not have a divided region. because of politics.
Excellency, Rigiji sasa umemuondoa katika haya mambo. Hiyo ni kumaanisha Nyeri haiko ama Nyeri itakuwa? Kwa sababu ni lazima tuulize, si tulipeana kura? Na kura zetu sasa zitaenda tu staili hiyo ama sisi tutakuwa watu wa kuangalia wengine wakikula? Kwa hivyo tunamuomba rais akikaa aangalie, aanze kuwaza mbele.
As Gachagua fights for his exoneration from impeachment by the courts, his successor, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, faces the gigantic task of uniting the Mount Kenya region. Apol Kamau, TV47.
Thank you, Apollo, for that. And celebrations for the swearing-in of Deputy President Kithure Kindiki as Kenya's third Deputy President continued across Tharaka Nithi County. Today, convoys traversed towns such as Kathwana, Shiakariga, and Mukodhima, and of course, Irunduni, Kindiki's home area. Speaking in Irunduni, leaders expressed high expectations for development under his leadership.
Kuhudumia Wakenya kwa wote kwa usawa. Na pia ningeomba sisi tukue watu wa kutoka hapa tushikilie mtoto wetu Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, na pia aweze kusaidia rais wetu wa Kenya aweze kuendeleza hii nchi ndio tuweze kupiga hatua zingine mbele. Pia tunashukuru rais wetu kwa kuamini Professor Kithure Kindiki ni mtoto ambaye anaweza kuunganisha na tayari ameunganisha Kenya nzima. Tunaamini hivyo. Tunaamini hivyo. Ambieni rais wetu asante tena.
Kwa amani nikimaliza niwaambie tunasema one people, one nation, one flag. Tusikue watu wa tribe. Mmejua yule mtu ameondoka sababu ya kuongea mambo ya mlima. Nyinyi msiongee mambo ya hapa peke yake. Mkiongea Runduni mnaongea hata huko kwingi. Mnataka kupoteza mlichoshika. Mlichoshika mshikilie kwa dhati, sio? Alafu tumkubalie, tumuombe aende huko alete vitu zaidi. Sawa sawa?
In the same breath, a day after his former position was taken by Kindiki Kithure, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has now changed his social media titles and appears to be resuming his usual activities. Ruga Ival sat down with political analysts to paint a picture of just what could be the next move for the former Deputy President. Have a look.
It appears that the impeached former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is undergoing a significant rebranding, even altering his titles across social media platforms and reverting to his official name.
We don't expect Rigathi Gachagua to be quiet. He may not be also too loud because he still awaits the outcome of the court process.
According to lawyer John Swaka, Gachagua's decision to wait until his impeachment was a grave miscalculation. He emphasizes that Gachagua is now ineligible for any benefits associated with his former role as deputy president.
In terms of the government provision, no. Once impeached, totally there is no benefit of any nature that comes to you from the government.
Political analyst Harmon Manyora, on the other hand, outlined two potential paths for the impeached deputy president's future.
Anaweza kuchagua kwenda Madhira, mnamuona kwa Madhira pale. Akae na watu wake, achunge ng'ombe zake, akamue maziwa, na aishi kama wazee wale wengine kwa kijiji. Anaweza fanya hivyo. Na afanye biashara zake. Akija Nairobi anafanya biashara zake. Akienda nyumbani anakamua ng'ombe, anaenda kanisa kama watu wengine. Mara moja anaenda Mlima Kenya na ushangilia. Akihesabu miaka na siku zile Mungu alimpa.
Even if he was to be favored by the courts and the courts declare that the entire impeachment process perhaps was unconstitutional, perhaps was wrong, or even if the court is to set aside the resolution of the Senate, maybe the only award that can come his way is in form of damages and salvation of his political life.
Swaka additionally commended the political maturity currently evident in Kenya, as Manyora noted that many Kenyans feel a sense of betrayal, yet such sentiments are part and parcel of the political landscape.
Lakini Wakenya kidogo wameruvuka. Mambo ama matukio ya 2007 yametufunza mengi, kwamba japokuwa tunaweza zozana kisiasa, lakini ukabila tumeona Wakenya wakijaribu sana kujiondoa ndani ya ukabila, na that's why umeona watu kama Gen Z wakitokea.
Kwa watu wa Mlima Kenya kwa sasa ni kawaida kwamba watasikia uchungu. Kwanza kijana wao ametimuliwa kwa hali iliyo mbaya, kwa hali ya aibu, kwa hali ya kusulubishwa, kwa hali ya kuaibishwa. Ni kawaida kwa wao kusikia machungu na uchungu. Na pia ni kawaida kwa wao kusikia vibaya kwa sababu jamii ni kama imekuwa betrayed. Manake wao walijitokeza tena asubuhi kabisa kwenda kumchagua Ruto. Maadamu leo hii Ruto amegeuka na kutoa yule ambaye alifanya wamchague Ruto, watasikia uchungu. Lakini tunawaambia hivi, kesho pia ipo. Kitu kizuri, ukiona Ruto amekukosea, wewe ukiwa ni Mkikuyu, usiongee. Hapana, weka na ile mti yako, ile kura yako. Kama huna, chukua. Ukiwa na vijana kwa boma hawana, wachukue. Sasa 2027 ni wakati wa kuambia Ruto, wewe hebu tukuonyeshe.
Ruga Eval, TV47.
Thank you, Ruga, for that. And away from politics, the Ministry of Health has ordered the closure of the Body by Design hospital owned by Omnicare, which specializes in plastic surgery. This follows the sudden death of Lucy Wamboi after undergoing a procedure at the facility. Sheila Chelangat with that.
This popular plastic surgery clinic, Body by Design, owned by Omnicare Medical Limited, has been under fire over allegations of malpractice in a plastic surgery case. Lucy Wamboi is said to have undergone a procedure here, with sources privy to the matter telling TV47 that the procedure was conducted by a fake doctor. She is said to have been discharged from the facility on the 18th of October, after which she developed complications and succumbed to them shortly after. The hospital, in its defense, however, released a statement stating that Lucy had undergone the surgery procedure successfully before being discharged in good health. At the facility, this closure notice now hangs on its gate, ordered and signed by the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentist Council, KMPDC, that swung into action after public outrage over the death of Lucy. The facility filed a petition in court over the matter, seeking for orders barring KMPDC from stopping their daily operation. But for now, from the latest statement from the Ministry of Health, it has ordered for its closure as further thorough investigations continue regarding the institution and staff involved in Lucy's procedure. From the investigations, this facility was operating below the required medical standards, and for now it shall remain closed until all the necessary corrective actions are implemented to ensure public safety. Sheila Chelangat for TV47 in Nairobi.
Now, the family of the late human resource manager at Wells Fargo, Willis Ayeko, has praised the government for its efforts to apprehend his killers. Speaking during a memorial service held last night, his brother Agri Onyango stated that they are satisfied with the efforts that government agencies have made so far, that is to address the matter, and that the late Willis Ayeko was reported missing on October the 18th, 2024, after attending a funeral service in the Gam area, and his body was discovered on October 23rd, 2024, in a river at the border of Siaya and Kakamega counties. 2 people have been arrested so far, and 2 others were killed following a shootout, with detectives investigating the case.
Biologically, we are brothers, but socially and everything, he's my son. Willis, if I were to talk about him, I would talk till cows come back home. I had said, and I will still say, to ask, who is this mighty man who wanted Willis dead?
Willis was a fine gentleman who would never engage in any altercation that would raise tensions or that would make people feel angry or upset. When things got out of hand, he would calmly use diplomatic language.
In my mind, whoever wanted Willis dead should not have done it the way they did it.
The Central Bank of Kenya has ranked Cooperative Bank and Diamond Trust Bank as the country's most competitive and cost-friendly lenders in the top tier of one banking category. According to the CBK latest report on commercial banks' weighted average lending rates for the month of September, the two banks have been, of course, have the lowest lending rates, with Cooperative Bank making a drop on the interest charged on loans.
Cooperative Bank has once again maintained its competitive edge as the country's cost-friendly lender in the Tier 1 banking category. In the latest report by the Central Bank for the month of September on interest rates charged by banks on loans, Cooperative Bank is now offering loans at a rate of 14.88% per annum, a drop from 15.14% in the month of August, as indicated by the CBK's Commercial Bank's weighted average lending rates report. Cooperative is fighting for the market share, with DTB Bank now offering loans at interest rate of 12.44%. In the personal loans category, between 1 to 5 years, the bank is lending at 15.31%, with long-term loans over 5 years offered at an interest rate of 15.36%. In the business loans category, loans between 1 and 5 years are charged an interest rate of 16.11%, while business loans of more than 5 years are charged an interest rate of 17.15%. In the corporate loans category, loans offered for 1 to 5 years are now charged an interest rate of 15.03%, while loans lasting more than 5 years are charged an interest rate of 10.48%. In the overdraft category, Cooperative Bank is now charging personal overdraft at 11.05%, business overdraft at 12.15%, and corporate overdraft at 15.81%. The CBK report comes at a time when the government and the Central Bank of Kenya are eager to push for lower ending rates aimed at stimulating growth in the private sector credit. On October 8th this year, CBK cut its central bank rate to 12% from 12.75%, these being the second consecutive reduction, a move meant to give relief to borrowers with costly loans and reverse a slowdown in the demand for credit. Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Today marks exactly 1 month since the implementation of the new Social Health Authority. However, the new health insurance scheme has faced its fair share of challenges, thereby disrupting the health services delivery and leaving patients in a state of despair. Our reporter Elizabeth Atieno paints a picture of the situation in the last 1 month.
Crowded health facilities, patients in distress, doctors in a state of dilemma, the Ministry of Health in limbo were the sights and scenes witnessed in the country for the past 1 month as the transition from the NHIF to the Social Health Authority officially kicked off, a clear indication that maybe the transition was rushed and the country's healthcare system could no longer withhold the pressure.
My mom has been sick for a long time now. Tumekuwa ni mgonjwa wako under medication ya cancer. Leo tumekuja chemotherapy, tukafika tukapata kadi ifanye kazi. Wengi wamerudi, kawa wenye wako na uwezo wa kulipa cash ndio wangeweza kuhudumiwa kwa sasa.
Top 10 services provided within SHA in the first month included mental wellness services, which was not previously under NHIF, amounting to 102.8 million. Outpatient services amounting to 273.8 million. Inpatient services 774.9 million, and renal care services 244.4 million.
Although the government, through the Ministry of Health, has time and again reiterated that the transition from NHIF to the Social Health Authority is aimed at ensuring equality in health service delivery, sadly, many patients cannot access services as they are forced to pay out of pocket following challenges in registration for the Social Health Authority.
Yangu imeenda hivi kufika kwa disability ikakoma.
I'm pleased to note that so far 13,344,674 Kenyans have registered. Among these are 7,152,487 who transitioned from NHIF and 6,192,188 new registrations.
The shared digital platform has been facing challenges despite the government investing a whopping 104.8 billion Kenya shillings for the implementation of an integrated healthcare information technology system.
Initial technical issues are being effectively resolved to guarantee smooth service delivery.
Another key challenge in the transition was claims owed to the facilities by NHIF. And on the 29th of October this year, the government released 9 billion Kenya shillings to the Social Health Authority to clear the outstanding bills owed to health facilities by the defunct NHIF.
Moving forward, claims will be processed within 90 days to maintain sustainability and responsiveness in healthcare service provision.
The 2.75% monthly deduction to the Social Health Authority has seen Kenyans complain over a shrinking payslip amidst the high cost of living. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
And now, police in Kasarani, that is Nairobi County, have launched a manhunt that is for a suspect accused of stabbing his girlfriend to death and before fleeing the scene. Elsewhere, police have also launched an investigation following the discovery of a severely mutilated female body near Langata Cemetery in Nairobi. Our reporter Samira Mohammed with the reports.
Police officers have launched an investigation following the discovery of a severely mutilated female body near Langata Cemetery in Nairobi.
Kufungoni kasino nikaona kuna kitu kama bag, sio bag, mzigo. Ikabidi niangalie nini nikonda. Na mimi nikajua kamiti kuangalia, hey. Na nikastuka juu ile kitu niliona. Mbavu za mtu. Kuangalia tena nikaona skeli ya kichwa.
The remains, consisting primarily of bones, were found at the scene, apparently left there by unknown individuals.
We have people who are based at Langata Cemetery called the police that they have found the bones on a certain cemented grave. They have the bones of a human being.
According to police officers from Langata Police Station, the bones appear to have been boiled with the flesh meticulously removed before being dumped at the Langata Cemetery.
Bones that they found a human being minus. They found only beans. And it was a cooked like meat, a cooked bones. Because they were very dry. They look as if they were eaten by another human being.
Elsewhere, police officers in Kasarani have launched a manhunt for a suspect accused of stabbing his girlfriend to death before fleeing the scene. Judge Mutegi was identified as a person of interest after the lifeless body of his lover, Lilian Cheng Aluko, was discovered by police officers at their 3-bedroom apartment in Kahawa West with multiple stab wounds. Detectives recovered a kitchen knife at the crime scene believed to be the murder weapon, with police reports indicating that the main suspect switched off his phone and went into a hiding after committing the brutal murder. Samira Mohammed for TV47.
Well, quite an unfortunate piece. Thank you, Samira, for that roundup. Allow us to take a quick short break. We still have more coming your way. That is, of course, in relation to sports, as well as that very important conversation after it.
vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there friends, welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
You're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers.
Sports news brought to you by Maybet. Join Maybet leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako. Chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybet. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia, pesa inavutia.
And now, Otugi Angels Community today organized an integrated sports event at the Makutano Secondary School that is in Deya, Kiambu County. And Martha Wamboi Wenjau, the co-founder that is of Otugi Angels Community, said that the main purpose of the sports event is to address the need for psychosocial wellness through sporting activities and, of course, for community cohesion and the need for integration towards the common good of our communities while disability mainstreaming.
My name is Sami Brayo, and I was born with no arms and operating mostly with one of my leg, but that has not limited me at all. And I'm so happy to be here today, supporting people who are differently abled. Integration is everything. For me personally, it has played a role because I've never learned in any special school. I've learned in normal schools, so I know it and I understand it, and I know its strength. Yes.
We have been living with these children for the last 11 years, where our main objective is to make sure that these children are happy and to make them feel that they belong to a family. So that is our main objective of these children, making sure that, again, they have an activity to do each and every day. And this one has made me realize that God created people with different abilities. So when you see your kid or your child is behaving in a certain way, as a parent, we should be very, very happy, and we must be able to take care of them.
Today we are very excited because this is an inspiration that in addressing issues of mental health in our communities, that we come together as a community, play together, sing together, dance together, just for integration, because we rescue children with special needs, and we take care of people with special needs, and this is one way of bringing social integration and also disability mainstreaming in our communities.
Leo tumehudhuria sherehe ya Utugi Angels, watoto ambao wako na disabilities, and today is a day for self-care. Watoto hawa wanahitaji kupendwa, wanapenda wazazi wajue kupenda hawa watoto, and even the community, inclusivity ya hawa watoto in our day-to-day lives.
Cynthia Chimweno is the winner of the 10-kilometer AK Third Cross Country Series, which was organized in Iten after running in a time of 34 minutes 27 seconds, closely followed by Miriam Chebet, who ran in the time of 34 minutes 28 seconds and 5 milliseconds. And Robert Kiprop Koech was the winner in the men's 10-kilometer category after running in a time of 30 minutes 38 seconds, while Asbel Kiprono emerged second after running in a time of 30 minutes 47 seconds and 7 milliseconds. Out of the men's 8-kilometer, Kevin Kiprop emerged as the winner with a time of 24 minutes 24 seconds, while Andrew Kipto Alamisi emerged second with a time of 24 minutes 28 seconds, while 800-meter Olympic gold medalist Emmanuel Wanyonyi won the 2 kilometers race of the highly competitive race, closely followed by Kamar Etiang and Fanuel Koech.
Haikuwa rahisi, maana tulikuwa watu wengi. Sasa haikuwa rahisi, vile tukijikaza kung'ang'ana. Furahia kuanza season nzuri. Sasa naenda kujikaza kwa part ya speed walk sana. Kwa kutayarisha kwa races ambazo ziko mbele.
Shukuru Mungu kwa hii race ya leo. Tumeweza kukimbia sawa, weather ilikuwa sawa kabisa. Tumejaribu, tulikuwa wengi, kwa maana tukaanza kwa na bit tension, but we managed kuanza mzuri na tuka maintain the pace mpaka mwisho, nikawa mshindi wa leo. Na hii race nilikuwa nimejiandaa, kwa maana si kwenda Lukalau Machakos, nikasema siende Kapsakoi, wacha ni defend home ground. To the last year I was here and I win tena.
Race ya leo ilikuwa competitive sana, lakini nimejaribu my best. Race ilikuwa competitive sana. Nilipofika kwanza hapa nikakuja kuona watu walikuwa wengi sana. Nikasema hii sasa sijui tutafanya namna gani. Lakini all the way nikajaribu my best. Nikasema wacha niende mbele. Lakini nikajaribu, rafiki yangu akafika, tukakuja kung'ang'ana.
Sports news brought to you by Maybet. Join Maybet leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybet. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia.
Right, we are about to get to that conversation. I see HSC Irene in studio already, and in a few we get to that conversation as to just how Eldo Hub, that is an entity that she formed sometime in 2019, of course, having begun the process in 2016, is changing lives through technology, not just in Eldoret, as dubbed, that is Eldo Hub, but across the different parts of the country, the marginalized spaces for for example. And of course, we get to that at this very point. Allow me to release our sign language interpreter, Kelvin Makori, and later on, for that conversation on her say, we'll be joined by Rhoda Nyamai. After this break, we get to that.
Vile unavyojua watoto wengi sana hawana namna. Mimi ningependelea watoto wasome.
I'm here to stress on education. At the same time, let us actually do any kind of sport that we are doing. Sport speaks the best language to everybody.
Tunataka tutafute talents. Zile raw talents kutoka kule nyumbani mashinani mahali tuko leo.
Hizi mbio za Chepsaita, like all other sports, zinaleta watu pamoja.
We want to use this event to uplift the lives of the community.
Anafurahia hii mchezo sana. Hata sikaange naambianga watu tuende Chepsaita.
Wanafunzi wakimbie ili wakuze talanta ya mbio ama kuhimiza tena elimu.
This is the place to be. Hapa ndipo mahali wanastahili kuwa tarehe 7. Wale watoto walikimbia last year, wamekimbia mpaka wamefuka mipaka zetu za Kenya.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Eldo Hub, an entity that is committed towards transforming the lives of youth through technology, beginning in Eldoret, but traversing the different parts of the country, especially the marginalized ones, so that at least we get to create employment. And of course, our story is one of inspiration, and we'll definitely be drawing from that, just so we can continue to empower the girl child right here on Her Say. And we get straight to introducing Magdalene. Thank you so much for creating time to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yes.
Salimia wa Kenya, even as you know, they get to watch you, and even the many youth that you have transformed their lives.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Chepkemoi Magdalene. I'm the founder and the CEO of Eldo Hub. Eldo Hub is an organization based in Eldoret, but we've worked in over 40 counties across the country. And our main aim of existing is to work with young people, youth, as well as women between the ages of 18 to 35 to prepare them to benefit from the digital economy. You know, everything is currently going tech, and there's a lot of opportunities, workplace, and everything is being disrupted. And we believe that, you know, if we work with young people, we support them to benefit from these opportunities that the digital economy offers, we can actually create an impact for the young people, especially for the youth in marginalized areas, because currently we have programs in Turkana as well as Garissa counties. We are also introducing other programs in Busia County, Mandera, as well as also more parts of Uasin Gishu County, especially in rural and peri-urban centers.
I am curious because then there's been a difficult, or a difficulty in, access to, first of all, the internet, technology, basically, data, in these different parts. And we have seen the government committed through the ICT ministry to make sure that at least there's connectivity across the different parts of the country, but still remains a huge problem, and we had complaints left, right, and center as to that. Yeah. How do you ensure that there's access to, technology, and what kind of technology then are we talking about?
Yeah, so I think the government of Kenya has really made a lot of progress in terms of infrastructure. From the time, there was, we only had Telcom, then Airtel came in, Safaricom and the others. But I think also government has really made a lot of progress in terms of ensuring that there is a lot of connectivity. Like currently, I know Konza Technopolis is working on Jitume labs and also launching different internet connectivity across the country, which is helping a lot. But regardless, there is a lot of need in terms of ensuring that we are able to support even marginalized areas to access the internet, and also how can we support them. I think there is also, it depends on the needs. Like for example, in some rural areas, some of them need more digital literacy, ensuring that we are able to support them and we are able to enable them to continue also learning in this digital technology. Okay. Yeah, so like for example at Eldo Hub, we have really focused on 3 pillars that we are working with. One of them is skills development, digital skills development, where we support them and train them on the latest tools and technologies from the hard tech. Hard tech I call, like for example, cybersecurity, data science and the rest, all the way to the soft tech, like maybe graphic design, digital marketing, social media strategy, and among other things. But apart from that, also we support them in terms of soft skills, those skills that are not necessarily tech, but are needed to grow one's career. Okay. That's our first pillar. Our second pillar is job creation. We realize that it is not just about training them, we also hope to transition them, because there are so many training institutions and organizations, even the academia, which is also kind of disconnected with the industry. So we help them in terms of transitioning them to the industry. And we have 2 approaches. One of them is skills to businesses, and the second one is skills for businesses, because we believe that if we empower them through the skills that they have acquired, they can actually launch businesses. Like for example, in graphic design, you can actually launch a business out of it. If at the same time also you can use the skills that you have to actually help businesses who would like to digitize their business processes. And number 3 is business coaching and mentorship. Not everyone also would want to get employed, or maybe self-employed. People who also would want to build startups and build companies that could grow. So we have an acceleration and incubation programs that we work with, which one of our acceleration program is supported by the government of Kenya under the KIEP project, which is also supported by the World Bank project. And lastly, we also focus on digital transformation, because we realize that if we support digitization of government as well as also private sector, we can create employment for the young people.
Let's talk about the many years, well, not so many, that you have been in existence, and you traversing these different parts, marginalized areas for that matter. Sometimes getting to experience youth that perhaps really are not so much so in the space of education and all that. Do you have notable success stories, so far? And what are some of the follow-up programs that you have to ensure that, well, of course, with the success stories, these are the follow-up programs to ensure that as well they are doing it and doing it well?
Sure. I think first of all, I need to give you my background, especially I grew up in the rural village. And, you know, while growing up in the rural village, I never imagined at some point I would be running a big organization.
In fact, I almost asked, well, how do you find yourself here? And this is tech for that matter.
Yes, and even being recognized both locally and internationally, I think it's something that, you know, I got the inspiration, like, you know, I could go back home, because when I graduated after high school, I came to, first of all, before even graduating, I remember I had to convince my parents and my relatives that I'm very passionate about computer science, which was quite a challenge because of lack of information. But eventually I ended up doing computer science and, you know, excelling in it. And after clearing high school, I went to the, of course, after university, everyone comes to Nairobi to look for greener pastures. And I think that's where also another gap is. I think we need to create opportunities down there instead of always coming to Nairobi. Yeah, so, you know, from that story, I realized that, you know, I need to go back home. I need to go and work with young people. I need to empower and create impact among the young people. You know, I could be lucky that, you know, I had a chance to come to Nairobi and, you know, get all this connection. But there are so many young people who do not have the kind of opportunities that I have. And I wanted to work with that young person. And especially the marginalized one, those young people in Elgeyo Marakwet, for example, those young people, youth and women who are really struggling, and they really need the support that we offer at Eldohub. That's the young person that I wanted to really work with. And there's been a lot of opportunities. Like, for example, during 2020, we launched a program called professional digital apprenticeship for young people. Right. Yeah, because we realized that, you know, at that time, you know, everyone had closed business. You know, businesses were no longer working. They would no longer go to their jobs and, you know, continue running their businesses as they would like to. Also, the young people that used to come to our center could no longer come to our center, and you know, that challenge that was happening. So we went back to the business and asked them, what were your challenges? And we got, you know, their needs. You know, some of them wanted to build e-commerce platforms, some of them wanted to build a digital marketing. Most of them just wanted to continue running their businesses, and they were looking for ways in which technology can be able to help them. So we went back to the young people that we had trained, and you know, vetted them, you know, supported them, did pre-apprenticeship, oriented them, and made sure that, you know, they were able to deliver on the assignment that the businesses were looking at. So we work with 40 businesses, 40 young people, and at the end of the 3 months that we were piloting the apprenticeship program, 36 of them got employed.
How easy is it to tweak the mindset? And I'm glad that you speak of such success stories. Because when you say there's always this mentality which is so rigid, and you know, most of the people will always think of how they're going to be you know, done with school and proceed to, you know, the urban areas in search for greener pastures. So how do you tweak their mentality to understand that there are opportunities even back at home? And just how much is devolution contributing to making sure that you know, these spaces are in existence for the people in rural areas?
Sure. I think, like you mentioned, devolution made it a bit easier in terms of you know, creating opportunities. Now everyone knows, you know, I don't need to come to Nairobi. I can still work in Uasin Gishu County. I can still create opportunities in Uasin Gishu County. You know, Turkana County, there are so many opportunities that exist even for young people, even creating it for themselves. So as far as the mindset, I think mindset is where it starts. I always say that, because we need to really empower young people to think differently. I was in another forum and there was a question which was asked: Are we ready? What is the government doing to help us, you know, leverage on technology and all that? And I was like, you know, are you yourself ready? Are you ready as a young person that, you know, because, you know, technology, you know, everyone we know that the statistics, we have access to the smartphones, we have access to internet, you know, even, you know, my grandmother still uses M-Pesa, and, you know, I don't think they have enough skills to understand about technology. But, you know, with that, you know, there's something that we could do, and it all starts with the mindset, you know, understanding that, you know, what are the opportunities. It also starts with how do I skill myself? How do I ensure that, you know, I have the right skill to be able to benefit from any opportunity? And, you know, technology keeps changing. It's dynamic. By the time, you know, AI, we are used to AI, maybe something else would have come. So, you know, as a young person, you need to skill very fast
and
to be
speaking
relevant.
of that, that's very important. Speaking of which, then one would want to understand, how would you rate the absorption levels, you know, across the different, say, counties or marginalized areas that you've worked? Would you say that Eldoret, of course, they accept it faster and better? The numbers are different in Marsabit. How would you say? How would you rate it?
Yeah, of course, if you compare Marsabit, if you compare Turkana, Garissa, of course, Eldoret is a bit more have access to some of these technologies, and even, you know, other counties, like for example Nairobi and Uasin Gishu. When I went to Uasin Gishu, there are some things that I could easily, like, you know, I could send an email and that's it, just inviting people. But then when I moved to Uasin Gishu, I realized that, you know, there is a culture that, you know, you have to deliver a paper. Yes, and several other places, some of the things that I've also realized. But then things have changed. I think it's because of maybe globalization, the access to this internet, you know, things have changed, and I think people are starting to embrace. I think there need to be more awareness and more education to support, you know, young people to really understand, and especially what you mentioned, to change the mindset. I think it all begins with the mindset. If we change the young people's mindset to start even thinking about, you know, starting startups, you know, running and starting startups, to change the mindset that I usually say, even going from just don't misquote me, but Mama Mboga mindset.
Right.
You know, we need to start thinking about not just businesses to live, or maybe to eat or to get food for that day, or maybe to get to you know, so that you don't sleep hungry, or maybe you get to pay your rent or something like that. But then we need to also think about building high impact companies and growing even beyond the Duka kind of mindset, and even think about building organizations that could employ as many young people as possible. And one of the things that we are focusing on is ensuring that, you know, we help young people to start and grow businesses by leveraging on technology.
Beautiful. You speak about education. How well do you suppose this is inculcated, you know, in the basic education levels? For instance, we have TVETs across. Do you suppose that there's more that needs to be done so that this is well inculcated, then of course for the students to as well absorb and adopt?
Yes, absolutely. Especially the TVET institutions, I think, you know, we are more, you know, as technology also, of course, continue to grow, I think there is need for more hands-on kind of training, more training around experiential learning, because we are used to a system where it's more theoretical, and sometimes we imagine things. I remember when I graduated from the university, and when I went to the industry, things were totally different. I got terms that I was not used, because I was not used to because we are used to a theoretical kind of training. So having a training where it is experiential learning, where, you know, industry as well as also the academic institution could collaborate, so that, you know, as they train the young people, they also understand what the industry wants. I think that's that will really change how we look at things in Kenya, and even that mindset that the young people really need.
All right. Three things before we close. Number one, of course, you know, perhaps you telling the people who are watching tonight just how best, and you know, those ones that are in Eldoret and the different parts that you're in, how best they can reach out so that they can get assistance and, you know, again, march into this very important program. But of importance, what are some of the other challenges that are notable, and how best can we address them, not just at the level of Eldohub, but across the different parts of the country? And of course, you speak of collaboration. How best do we collaborate? You collaborate to ensure that then this is, you know, well inculcated across, and, you know, policies are formed for the betterment of the numerous technological programs across.
I think we need to, first of all, let me start with the policy issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think we have a lot of policies that we don't implement, but I think there is need for more policies that could support young people, ensure that especially a startup, I think there is a startup bill which is currently being debated. I think it's at the National Assembly at the moment. I think if we allow young people to experiment more, and, you know, give them that enabling environment, and even put in a lot of resources. Because, you know, when you are starting a startup, for example, it's an experiment. You don't know, it can either work or not work. But every time someone starts a startup, is, you know, the government is like, you know, you need to pay taxes and all that. Maybe tax holidays, maybe giving young people opportunities and resources. Sometimes some are capital intensive, for example. And if you give them an opportunity to experiment and even give them the support, like if they fail, what happens, you know, we need to celebrate them, you know, for the fact that they've started the startups, and ensure that, you know, we are giving and creating an enabling environment for the young people.
Right.
As far as where we are found, we are based in Eldoret, that's our headquarters, but we also have a team in Nairobi. We also have programs in Turkana, as well as also Garissa, and also we are very much accessible. So in Eldoret, we are based in Eastern Avenue, and that's where you can find us. You can email us at info@eldohub.co.ke. You can also call us. We have a number that's operational 24 hours, which is 011 269 32. That's where we can be found. And we can be able to support you in terms of training, in terms of ensuring that, you know, you are well prepared in this world of digital, digitization and the global village. And we start from young people. We have basic education for young people to help them. You know, these young people are competing with, you know, with people who started coding at the age of 8.
Right.
So we try to create opportunities for them from 8 years. We have out of high school, and we teach you from scratch. But also we have also all the other programs that I had already mentioned about.
Beautiful.
And we also have a program that we are running. It's called a Tech Run. We realize that, you know, Uasin Gishu County is an athletic, and sports is something that we are more we are good at, and we have a culture, marathon culture. You know, marathon culture entails we need endurance, we need resilience, and all that. How can we translate that culture and those values to helping young people to change the mindset that we've talked about? To think about, you know, to change that mindset, because building a business or starting something also requires that resilience, you know, requires that endurance and all that. So we have started a program called Tech Run for Eldoret City Investors Forum, where we are encouraging the local athletes, the innovators, and, you know, building an ecosystem where young people can be supported. At the same time, also bringing in more investors to come and see the good things that we've done. And we will do it on the 1st of December.
Okay.
That will start with a Tech Run, which will be a build-up for the 2nd December Investors Forum.
Beautiful, beautiful, great thing that you are doing. And I know, of course, we cannot get to exhaust everything, but you need to reach out. The world is moving very fast. You cannot afford to be left behind. And here is an opportunity for you and for the people, of course, that you would invite as your friends. Thank you so much, HSC Magdalene Chepkemoi, for traveling all the way to be here and gracing our set with this great news. We certainly wish you nothing but the best. And of course, we keep saying, you know, viva to Gal Power. It was great having you on Her Say, and as well looking forward to have more and more engagements. And you back at home, thank you so much for the immense feedback. Reach out and, you know, get that help, get to learn so much about technology and transform your life. My name is Linda Alela. I look forward to see you again on Saturday. Asante sana. Equally, we appreciate